hello and welcome to another update video about Bitcoin and Cardano. Today a very stormy and windy and rainy day here in the UK. Rainy seems to be the mood in the crypto market as well. But yeah, this is basically no surprise. On this channel we have expected another sell-off, and in my view this is only the beginning. It's not confirmed that this is already the sell-off I've been waiting for, but we are heading in the right direction. That I expect a price below 28.7k, and yeah, I did stick to this scenario throughout here since December or end of November. We've been talking about this, and this has remained my primary expectation. And I think finally we are heading further down, and we're going to take a look at that in a minute. Also take a look at the Bitcoin and the ADA chart, and ADA holding really steady here, the dollar mark today. So we're going to take a look at that as well. But let's talk about Bitcoin. Bitcoin, another low below 40k. Quite pleased about that. Yeah, I know it's strange if someone says, I hoped for lower prices, but I think this is for the greater good of the crypto market, because as you know, if you've been following me for a while, I strongly believe that we need to see a lower low to get a clean cut to start the next major wave to the upside. That is, Bitcoin is a market, or the crypto market is a market that typically does these lower lows in a wave 2 correction. It needs to come, in my view, lower than the 28.7k level here from June 21, because if you have really what I do think we have here, this A, B, C correction, the wave C needs to come lower than the wave A. Yes, of course, there are other scenarios where you don't need to get that low, and yeah, if you just take a book here from the Elliott Wave method, there are tons of examples where you don't need to make a lower low here. But it's also important to look at the bigger picture, to look at what the market, a particular market, has done in the past. Because typically if a market has a certain behavior, it won't change that. And typically Bitcoin is a market that makes these clean cuts. Yeah, that's one thing. The other thing is that the indicators for me still confirm a further downtrend. And as I've mentioned it so many times, also in this whole uptrend where many people got already super bullish again, yeah, where I said, look, if we break above 46.5, even then, and this is a key level which divided basically the two scenarios. Yeah, my primary scenario still, where we're heading further down here in that 28.7k range, even lower. And the other one where we're going higher first, but not to new all-time highs, and then come down in my target area, yeah. But even if we break above this area, that we would still be in a correction. And you can see it based on how the market is behaving. This is not an impulse. It is not strong enough. Just imagine you come down months and months of this, typical correction, which you typically get in the crypto market. And we've come down here from basically an all-time high, dropped 50%, whatever, 40, 50%. You need to have a clean low. This is not a clean low. This is just something where it basically, yeah, it is just looking like just a correction of a downtrend, right? Just a consolidation. And I did say to you, I don't like the structure here. It doesn't support new all-time highs for me. And yeah, that's where we are. I think that is also one reason why we're now seeing here this correction down again. I mean, overall, I remain here very confident that we're going to see this lower area. Of course, there is still a chance that we suddenly pump here, but even then, you're not going to get to new all-time highs, not from here. No, we need the correction to the downside, below 28.7k, possibly all the way down to 20k. And the reason for that is, all you need to do is to look at what the price did before. Look at the 200-week moving average, a very important support level where the price in typical corrections has come down to. I mean, one example here, December 2018, after the bull market. Next example here in March 2020. And then here, look at where this 200-week moving average is going to land, at the lower end of my support area here, 20k. So if we really come, there is certainly scope. If you just use that indicator, there is certainly scope for further downside if we look at where the 200-week moving average is and what the price has done before. Yeah, but yeah, I mean, at the moment we have also retested this massive head and shoulders, yeah, from the downside. We have retested that, so we are now heading further down in my view, yeah. that is what I've been talking about here. If we retest this as resistance, this previous support, if we retest it as resistance, you can expect lower prices. Now, what do we do here currently on the macro side? And by the way, I did say it before, if the, or when the correction is finished, of course it will be finished, but when the correction is finished, then I do expect levels of 100K plus for Bitcoin. That is why I think even the current levels are potentially attractive for dollar cost averaging in, because I mean, the risk is always there that we're not going to see that price level down there, or that what you could get is just a very fast wick to the downside and then we go up. Yeah, something like we did in March 2020, just to show you once more here, just like a V-shaped correction, yeah, V-shaped recovery. But yeah, what do we do here on the macro side of things? So first of all, looking at this indicator here, yesterday I said, or was even the day before, that I think that this fight here between the bulls and the bears, between the two key scenarios that I talked about, is decided on the daily time frame. Reason I said that, for example, here, if we look at the weekly, on the weekly time frame, we were reducing selling pressure, yeah, and it could have been, you know, if this continues, there is more scope for the price to move higher, absolutely, and on the 4-day chart as well. I think we were even having nearly, or even already had, a bullish crossover on the 4-day MACD. Yeah, so all of this would have supported higher price levels, but as I said in that video, and a few hours after that, we saw the price dumping, that the daily indicator was turning around to the downside, and now we even have a bearish cross. And you can see that this had a massive effect on the price, or however you want to see it, but the decision here, if we are really breaking this to the upside, or if we are really going down and have that sell-off straight away, what I still primarily expect, this is decided on the daily. The MACD turning bearish crossover. Yeah, I said when that is happening, I don't think the price has a chance to break above 46.5. Of course, it can still happen, but I think the likelihood has now decreased quite significantly. Yeah. So if we look at this here, then how it was labeled, I think was correct. So an A, B, C, a very, very clear 3-wave structure. And what we see here possibly now is this 1, 2. Well, no, not like that. 3, where's the wave 3? Here. So like that, a 1, 2. So let me go to the shorter time frame, and we can also calculate where the wave 3 should end. By the way, this is at the moment only an assumption what we could be doing here. Yeah, it's not a completed 5-wave structure yet, but if we say, all right, this was your wave 1, you've come up in a wave 2. This was a key support level that we talked about for that wave 2. It was the 0.618 Fibonacci retracement level. Yeah, we talked about it when I showed you that retracement here, the 0.618 Fib level, the most important one at 44.2K. Yeah, the price did go slightly higher, but that was it. So it did find support here. It is a level where typically a wave 2 would come to, yeah, as a minimum, I would say. And then now we are moving here in this wave 3. Now, how far down can the wave 3 come? Well, typically at least the minimum target for a wave 3 is the 1.618 Fibonacci extension that is sitting here at just below 39K. So it is also the level that I expect to have next support. Falls very much in line with the previous highs, here the wave A. And this is where I think we're going to get to 39K before we see some sort of a smaller bounce to the upside. Yeah, so this is certainly where I would expect at least the wave 3 to get to, but possibly even to 37.2. So somewhere here in this range here, yeah, I would expect primarily the price to land. It can even go a bit lower. Yeah, absolutely. And the 4-hour wouldn't necessarily support it, so you would want to see now a little bit of a recovery, because on the 4-hour you're very much oversold. Okay, and then the wave 4, there will be another wave 4. Yeah, so don't you know that all of this here that started here on the 24th of January was a wave 4 as well. So this boring price move period here over the last few days and weeks, yeah. Yes, it did go up quite fast, but then it moved sideways since, well, for a couple of weeks now. So very, very boring price moves. I always see it on the how many views my videos get. when it gets sideways too long, people get disinterested. And this has happened a few times now, always in a Bitcoin wave 4, because the wave 4s, oh, they are painful. So there will be another wave 4, yeah. And if we talk about where could that wave 4 then go? I mean, at the moment, these are just assumptions because we cannot calculate that because we don't know where exactly the wave 3 will land. Let's just say the wave 3 will go to that 39K level. Then you would expect the wave 4 here to land between the 0.214 fib level at 40.1K and the 0.5 fib level at 41.8K. So you would expect this. So the ideal level for that would be 41.1, and then you would come down in a wave 5. But this is the most simple structure, yeah. The wave 5 can be extended as the current as it was here, the wave 3. You know, it could be the wave 3 gets extended. We don't know that yet. It depends on how many substructures are going to develop here. This is the most simple way. We could even see here potentially another extension. You know, it's too early to say, really. It's too early to say. We want to see where the wave 3 lands. Only then we can calculate the wave 4 and the wave 5. But in the end, you know what I primarily expect, that we are going to land down here anyway, yeah, in this price region, and that this could really be the beginning. We are now back below 40K, so yeah, the price is heading down. Key levels to watch out for: 39K, I did say that, and then here support level is 36.2K, and then the low, of course, at 33K. So at the moment, everything going in line with expectations. And also I talked about that earlier today, that I would, now that Cardano has moved below the support line, it was slightly below the support line already, that it would drop below that. And if you drop below the $1 and 2, that we can then expect a 92-cent Cardano. That is the previous support. And this is, I think, where we're now going to land. We're already below $1. You know, it's not really lost yet, the $1 line, but if you expect, or if we expect Bitcoin to drop lower, I think it would be very unrealistic to say that Cardano can just move up from here, especially given the weakness in the chart in the last few days. We talked anyway about the possibility, we've got it labeled here on the chart, this 5-wave structure here as well, 1, 2, 3, 4 to the upside, and that we are already in the wave 5. We talked about that. Talked about the potential that the wave 5 could already be ongoing for Cardano, purely based on the situation that the Cardano correction started earlier. So naturally you would expect it to be earlier in the wave count as well, further advanced. So from that wave 4, we talked about it earlier as well in a video, that this could already have been the wave 1. We're now seeing here the wave 2, or we have seen the wave 2 potentially already. Yeah, and now we are here in a wave 3, and then you get your wave 4 again, and you come down in a wave 5, and this would complete this blue wave 5 structure, yeah. And if we are losing the 92-cent level, which I think we will, if Bitcoin really moves into my target area, what I might mainly expect, I mean, don't forget that would be a 40% to maybe even 50% drop for Bitcoin. I think it's very realistic that we could then actually see, because Cardano has failed to put a buffer in place here, that we actually could really see a 55 to 30 cent Cardano, yeah. I mean, 30 cent is really the last level where Cardano can hold before it completely gets crushed. You know, if this doesn't hold, it goes really into the abyss, really. But that is the same situation for other cryptos like VeChain. If the 3.3 cent level low drops, I mean, yeah, then you're talking about price levels that, I mean, somewhere down here, right? That is what then will happen for a lot of these altcoins. And yeah, I talk about Cardano here in this video, but if some of these cryptos that I talk about lose their lowest support of my target area, yeah, I mean, then we talk about really low prices, yeah, really low prices that I don't expect. I expect here a turnaround in this target area, and also for Bitcoin, I expect a target area turnaround, or a turnaround in the target area from which we will go to new all-time highs. I'm fairly convinced and fairly confident about that. Yeah, I don't expect a long bear market. By the way, I did say it to the channel members already. If you become a channel member here on the weekend, I will post on my Discord server my 2022 outlook for a lot of the altcoins that I cover. including charts and more explanations that I'm not necessarily always put in the videos here. So it will be a nice go-to guide for everybody, for every channel member who can has access to Discord. Yeah. So if you're interested in joining the channel membership, feel free to check that out. You can join here on YouTube or on my website. You can find a link in the description for my website, and then you can choose which kind of membership you want, if you want one. And with a silver membership, you get basically access to Telegram, Discord, and a weekly live stream, which will be on Sunday again. Yeah, and that is my view here currently on Bitcoin and Cardano. Very exciting, at least no sideways movement anymore, and everything in line with my primary expectation that prices are going to drop further. We are still above this critical support at 39K, but the way that this is here happening looks very, very impulsive to the downside to me at the moment. So hopefully you enjoyed the video. If you did, please smash the like button and subscribe, and see you in the next video. Bye bye.